Good morning, folks. This is going to be fun. We've got a number of items to hit today: top science releases from the weekend, the weather, and of course, we're starting with our star at spaceweathernews.com. We find the last 24 hours were mostly calm on the sun. The filaments keep dancing around the limbs. We do not have strong coronal holes facing Earth, but rather departing, and the active regions have remained mostly quiet as well. We did get an impulsive near C-class flare from the southern grouping yesterday as new positive Umbra hopped on its caboose, reorganized the field structure into a bit more complexity. I am still watching for flares on the south. The solar wind was much more interesting. The departing coronal holes had sent their solar wind our way 2 to 4 days ago, and their arrival is quintessential in terms of coronal hole stream impact. When it's a CME, all marks in the solar wind change at once upon impact. But with the coronal hole stream, the density of the leading shock, in orange, delivers the punch, which is up top in red and black. It is only after the shock passes that the faster particles begin to arrive, which are also much hotter, as seen in green and purple below on the left. Solar wind speed neared 500 kilometers per second, and plasma temperature jumped 2,000%. That's an exponential scale in green. This stream was stronger than the last few, actually managing to push the magnetic energy levels at Earth a bit, created a brief KP4 instability period in the field. Let's go to the tropical storm. It began in Florida, actually, as the outer arms spun down tornadoes before the core of the storm made landfall well to the west of there. The tornadoes did develop quite nicely. Flooding stretches from there to Texas in the hardest hit regions. There was a considerable storm surge and wind-driven wave activity as well, but far to the west of that, we've got a different weather story as it began to snow. And no, not just on the tippy top of the highest Rocky Mountains where it does snow at all times of the year. We're talking about locations in the Pacific Northwest where they were legitimately saying, "Why is it snowing in June?" Whatever the answer is, I'm pretty sure I'm too busy thinking about how much this looks like the hotel from The Shining to come up with an answer at 4 o'clock in the morning. Wink. Okay, science. As you know, we've been making sure to run down the initial flexing of the new climate models, and this one really demonstrates the whack-a-mole problem they've got. They push down in one area, and their uncertainties and biases propagate errors in other areas. They've added a number of corrective items to fit the northern hemisphere circulations and storm tracks, but they lost accuracy for the southern hemisphere at the same time, including the jet strength and blocking events. Imagine you're missing a couple pieces of a puzzle, and instead of looking for them, you go try to make a new picture out of the pieces you do have. I like how they think space weather can affect technology and biology, but not water vapor in the atmosphere. Up next, we are pointing to a preprint co-authored by Will Happer, Princeton, one of the fathers of climate models, one of the biggest critics of modern models, and here, deriving his own greenhouse gas effect study under a doubling of carbon dioxide, and his number is half of what you've heard on the news or the net about how much warming there would be. So what? Biology, did he say a minute ago? Yes, you can literally find hundreds of articles on geomagnetism and the microbiota of this planet, also on larger faunal and floral effects. Here's yet another one on the growth effects of geomagnetic pulsations on microbiota, and if you are in that small group digging deep there, you are going to want to hit that one. Now it's getting fun. This is 2 in 2 days, folks. This one going to the monthly notices of the Royal Astronomical Society. 3 big names in the international astronomical community are suggesting that the anomalies seen in the aluminum 26 sky maps are caused by foreground emission, no kidding, produced by recent nearby nova events. Again, nearby is a bit liberal of a description, isn't it? It's the sun. The sun has a tremendous outburst every 12 to 13,000 years. It flips Earth's magnetism, causes global catastrophes. The last one was 12 to 13,000 years ago, and the trigger for it is already affecting nearby stars and all the planets in the solar system. And yes, that is the movie and series linked below these videos every day. But on to our top story. Folks, the Galaxies Journal at MDPI is killing it. This journal has vaulted ahead of the Astrophysical Journal, ANA, and all the others in terms of science observers care about. In the 8th or 9th of their articles I've covered this year, this one says it as plainly as it can be. A paradigm shift is unfolding in dark matter science. The labs will keep trying to build detectors forever if we let them. The cosmic web is too far in too many ways to conclusively end this discussion. But the galactic level, I truly believe that is where this must begin, and that is where dark matter will die. They have a special issue ongoing right now, and let's just say that they have enough mathematical proofs in there of other models of galactic rotation physics, which work completely with the modern state of data and presumptions, that you can only imagine what happens if they realize that their cause is supported by indirect observations cutting against the idea of dark matter from dozens of other subfields in astronomy. We greatly appreciate your support, whether you want to know more about that paradigm shift in galactic physics, or the paradigm shift in how many humans are going to be left alive on Earth one day soon. Literally, those and all of our top videos can be found at suspiciousobservers.org and on our YouTube channel page. We've got your wind map forecasts and shots of our star to close, and of course, we'll do this all again tomorrow, right here, but right now it's 5 a.m. in the new Valley of the Sun. Eyes open, no fear. Be safe, everyone.